Hey y'all, it's Magnolia Money, and I wanted to get up a quick grid for tonight. This is for the Florida Pick 3 evening draw. What I've done is I've created a grid, and in order to do that, what you are going to do is take the last 5 evening draws, place them across the top. You will have a plus, minus, plus, minus. You will then continue that through the bottom. You start with whatever, of course, the previous number was that was winning, and you continue to go down. In this case, you're adding. So you add all those till you get back to the repeating 9, and that's how you know when to stop. Now, the date for this one is 125. If you add the 5 and the 1, it's going to give you a date sum for a 6, for those of you that are interested in that information. Now, with this grid, typically what happens, especially through like the state of Mississippi, you have your highlighted numbers for the most current win, which was 905. So as you can see, I've highlighted all of those that I have found. Typically speaking, your next night's numbers will come off of and or use those same areas. So it might be, for example, I'll show you some ways to look at that here in just a moment, but I want to give you guys a little bit of information just so that you can kind of understand when I say it, what I'm looking for and what I mean. Base numbers are 1, 2, 3, all the way through 0. These numbers mean exactly how you see them. So if I say the base number is 905, then that's what it means. If I say that the mirror numbers for 905 are 4, 5, 0, then that's what we're talking about mirrors. As you can see here, the mirrors, I've got a chart here, and I even written it out where 0 can be 5 and a 5 can be a 0, and so forth for each one of these. So if you don't have that, now would be a good time to take a screenshot and save that, because that might come in handy for you for this next part. Now, this is something that I personally have created and kind of came up with, and I'm finding that is hitting pretty often on an accurate level for Mississippi. I cannot state this for every other state, but I want to try this and see, and I wanted to start here with Florida because I've had a lot of requests in Florida to check these out. So this is what I call the MAGS method, or actually the date sum box method. What I do is I'm not going to go in and how I get these numbers, but what I'm going to show you is if you see me post these on my site, then or on here on YouTube, this is what you need to look for. This is an example. All right, you have this box here, 5, 4, 6, 6, 3, 7. You're going to want to look for numbers that will match up here around these plate areas that coincide with what's in this box, because like I said, generally speaking, your next night numbers are going to come off of what's on the orange and or use the numbers in the orange. So I wrote out a few examples. If you mirror these, which we just discussed and I showed you the chart for, if you mirror these, you could have a 5, a 1, and an 8. That would be your 5, 3, 6. That would be 5, 1, 8 right there. So you would then take that option and come over here and start at your corners. 5, 1, 8. Do they touch? You have a 5, you have an 8, but there's no 1. So it's not going to be right here. Let's check and see in another more common spot, which is typically like right in here. You look for those same numbers. You're looking for 5, 1, 8. You don't really see it right here, but if you come down here, you see that it comes off of the previous night's number and travels right over the top. You have your 5, 1, 8 there. So yes, that very well could be the next night's number. You look here, it comes off of this 5, 1, 8. If you look over here, you have 5, 1, 8. You've got also a 5, 1, 8 in a couple other areas I had seen as I was writing this up. I'd seen it come through, but that is just one example. You would take another number. It would be like 981. Your 4 is there. You could you can mirror that over to a 9. Your 3 mirrors to an 8. Your 6 mirrors to a 1. These are just some things you can check. 981, it plays right here. You have it playing right here. You have it, in a variation of spots, like right here it comes off and plays. You have it here. And you can see where it's more, easy to spot on the grid. That gives it a higher chance, which means I would probably mark that number because it very well could play. But you also need to keep in mind your last 5 draws. Look at what your hot numbers are. Look at which ones are cold. You need to also use that into configuration with what possibly will drop. So as you look at this, you not only want to break down box by box in each section and pull out your numbers, but you also, like I said, I got examples here too. And you can look at these and try these numbers if you want. I've never played in Florida for the Cash 3 or Pick 3. You can try it and tell me if it works. I don't know. Like I said, this is the first time I've pulled this up, so I would have to do some tracking on it. But these are examples of things that you can check. You see that the most common things, like I said, the date sum here is 6. So you will see 6 in each of my corners of the box. But you see that there's a common pattern. You have 2, 7, 5, 3. You have 9, 5, 7, 8. Then you have 5, 4, 3, 7. But what's one thing that every one of these boxes have in common besides a 6? They all play a 5. They all play a 7. Technically speaking, they all play some form of a 3 because you have a 3 in this box, 3 in this box, but this one mirrors to an 8. So let's say 5, 7 is the most dominant numbers, just as an example, and say we want to come over here and look for a 5, 7. All right, so we see a 5 coming right off here. We want to see a 7. All right, so now we have 3 options it can be to connect that 5 to that 7. It can be 5, 9, 7. It can be 5, 6, 7, 5, 5, 7. So those could be the options. You just have to look here and go back and check it and play and see if it works. That would be one option you could try. Another thing is, let's see, a more common number. Say if you're feeling that the fact that the 6s are there because of the date sum. I mean, even in this box, you see that you have those same types of numbers. You see that there's 3 of them in this one. There's 2 6s and a 1. To me, I categorize that all into one section. It's either going to be all 6s or all 1s. So I come over here and I look, and it could be split as well. But here's 2 6s. So if I'm feeling comfortable and confident that a 6 is going to play tomorrow, I would look at the starting point at the top left and then just kind of work my way down and then move myself over in the grid as these sections are highlighted. Now, that's really the best way that I can explain on how to use the date sum box method in order to compare and find the wins inside the grid. You just want to make sure that you take these most common numbers. Most of them are going to be running with 6s. Most of them are going to be running with like 5s, seems to be pretty steady. The 3s tend to be pretty steady. The 7s, most definitely, because they're in every single one of them. So I personally would probably say a 7 and or a 2 will play. So if you're looking at 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7 could come out. It is pretty heavy right in here. You can see that. It's a possibility a series could drop. It comes straight off of the combination of the last 2 nights. I've seen that happen repeatedly for Mississippi. We actually had that happen quite a few times in a 1 week's time frame. So I hope that this helps you guys, and this can go for any state. The way that you create this grid is by creating the last 5 draws, and in this case, these are the last 5 evening draws for Florida. If your state is Georgia, get the last 5, and then just add, subtract, until you repeat the same number you started with. Once that's done, you highlight all of your most current night's drawing, and then you look around it. I hope that this helps as far as how to create and set up this date sum box. I will get a video out on that pretty soon. Right now, I am still testing some theories and stuff along with Mississippi because that is the state that I play in. And you guys, I will provide that information soon on how I obtain that. Some of you may have already picked up on it and see exactly what I've done, but I just want to share this information with you guys in hopes that you guys can also find a win. This might be something extra that you can use along with your tic-tac-toe methods, your rundowns, and things to that effect. So as my site continues to grow, which is magnoliamoney.net, you can check your state's page on there. It is a Mississippi website for our lottery, but it's my personal website, but I am trying to add more states. So as I get time and as I get more ability to provide this, I will be adding them to my site. They may not necessarily be every day and for every drawing, but I will try to get more content up for the other states that are interested. My thing is if you have a state that you want to see and would like to see a couple of times a week that gets posted, please comment below and let me know, because I'm trying to gather a list of the most popular and then work those states first. And again, like I said, this is for Florida's pick 3 for 125. I'm going to be looking tomorrow night to see which number actually came out. Again, these were just some quick, eyeballing it, just based literally on this, comparing it roughly to that to see if they are there. So let me know what you think, and good luck, everybody, and I will see y'all soon.